What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. And for those of you who don't know, I am a new eFootball player that has dabbled in the past but never truly gave the game any type of respect. I didn't try to learn the nuances of it, which you absolutely have to, because eFootball is a totally unique experience. It is nothing like FIFA, FC, and it never has been, right? It is nothing like the brand new UFL. It is totally unique. For one, it is extremely detail oriented. For instance, every single player has a ton of skill sets. You can also add skill sets. Certain players have the ability to be boosted, other players do not. Certain players have the ability to do certain traits that are more powerful than others in game, and that may or may not be powerful depending on the tactics that you use. Every single tactic offers a different strength and weakness, or different strengths and weaknesses, plural, I should say. Coaches offer different boosts and the ability to play a certain way and not play other ways. Like, there's so many. I just scratched the surface with what I just said there, and that was literally like 20 times more than any type of detail there is in UFL. You get what I'm saying? Now, I know UFL is a brand new game and they're going to keep adding more detail, but just at its core, UFL is a very simplistic game. Some players like that, and for those players, I would not recommend eFootball because the details alone will probably scare you away, right? But for players like myself, I love the detail in eFootball. But the problem is, even though I'm dying to dive in and just be the football gaming nerd that I am and learn all there is to know, learn every different player build, the strengths and weaknesses, all the different tactics, the strengths and weaknesses, the thing that stops me is the motivation behind actually getting on the pitch and playing. So I can explain what I mean. When I play FC 25, right, or any FC or formerly FIFA, and I play Ultimate Team, my favorite mode, right? And Mini's favorite mode. Once Ultimate Team came out, it pretty much took the world by storm. In any game, whether it's FC, Madden, NHL, the Ultimate Team mode is the way to go, because you can choose all your different favorite players from all the different teams, right? And now they also have legends, icons, whatever you want to call them. It just goes so deep. And the ability to keep, upgrading your team as you go, it keeps it fresh and chasing these great players that you want to get. If it's FC, they have promos, and you can keep getting better and better versions of these players, right? So eFootball somewhat adopted that Ultimate Team mode, but they did it in their own way. So yes, just like FC, that you have various, versions of players, and just like FC, it can cost you a lot of money to get certain players, while others you can get are free to play. They just won't have as many bonuses to them that make them OP on the field, or at least, if not OP, better. So, why does FC reign superior then, as far as my opinion goes? Well, it is because in FC, you have a lot more chances to get these top tier type of players, even if you don't put in money, right? In eFootball, many times they'll release these, let's just call them promos. That's what I call it at FC, right? And you'll have, for instance, right now you have this blitz curler Mbappe, which I know from just talking to people. I've never played with a player that had blitz curler, but I know that it was super OP. They nerfed it, but it's still a very good skill set to have, right? For those FC players that are watching this, it is similar to a play style, okay? And then there's a few other players that you could sign, but obviously I look at Mbappe with this OP skill set that he doesn't typically have. I want him big time. In order to get him, though, I'd have to put in money and do these player draws. With a max of 150 players, I could literally put whatever the amount is, $100, $200, and guarantee, or I could put 10, 20, 30, 40 bucks at a time and see if, take my chances at pulling him earlier. That's the thing, though. Many players like myself do not want to put money in, right? Maybe if I got to the point where I'm totally invested in eFootball, I would do it. I even did an experiment. I got Maldini. It was like 1 or 2 promos ago, just to see like what a typical player would go through to get one of these OP players that he wanted. Now, in this promo, I was eyeing getting Thuram. The other choice was Xabi Alonso, My first choice was Thuram. My second choice was Maldini. Third was Xavi. But I just was hopeful that I landed one of them. And within $50, I landed Maldini. I then added another 30 to try to get Thuram as well so I could have the best wingbacks in the game. And I didn't pull Thuram. So out of $80, I got Maldini. The good news is, though, eFootball doesn't reset. I will always have him. So that is the cool part of eFootball. However, just like FC, you are going to eventually want to upgrade your players. There's going to be a more OP player that comes out eventually at left back. And then maybe you can move Maldini to center back or that other player. But he also might just go away eventually. Now, hopefully by then you get your 70, $80 worth, right? Now, I digress. The point I was making by all that is that I can get these top players in SBCs and objectives and even earn coins and then go buy them on a market. There is no market in eFootball. So what is there to motivate me to play their game, to then learn all these amazing details that they take the time to add? Because that stuff's amazing, but if I have no motivation to then go out and take my team onto the pitch and have no motivation to play these different modes or even just the eFootball League, I'm not going to even waste my time learning all this cool stuff they have in the game, right? So in comes this Showtime objective player pick, whatever you want to call it, where you complete these different objectives, like beat the AI 3 times, win a PvP match, versus another player 3 different times, score this many goals, whatever it is. I don't think that's in there, but you get what I'm saying, just different objectives. And along the way, once you finish these objectives entirely, you get this one choice of a Showtime player, right? And there are these 5 awesome players with these unique skill sets. And I believe they even have a booster with them. I could be wrong, though. And then, like, the mini rewards you get along the way, too, outside of just your coins and different stuff like that, you get, like, these lower-rated national team players. Like a France version of, I don't know, whoever, Kolo Muani. No, actually, Kolo Muani is one of the featured Showtime players that you could pick. But other players on the national team, okay? So then, at the end of it, you get this objective and you get this phenomenal finisher, Kolo Muani, right? Phenomenal finisher is like the play style, that skill set that's unique. You get an edge crossing Gnabry, which is like, I saw Beckham with it. It's this super OP type of cross that Gnabry has, and that's very unique there. Bastoni was something. Amrabat was something, right? And there's like you get 1 pick out of 5 if you complete these objectives. So for me, I'm all in. I'm somebody who is just playing eFootball on and off, right? Outside of FC, which is my favorite game right now. But this player pick definitely got me into the point where I'm in these events right now. You see in the background, this is an event I was playing that I would have never played if it wasn't for the objectives I needed to complete, right? Now, I had to play AI matches before I knew there was kind of a shortcut to it. I went into an AI event, and it was terrible playing their AI. I played at a higher level, expecting it to be something similar to like how you play squad battles versus Ultimate Team, which is very challenging. And I literally played a park the bus AI team that was excellent defensively, but they literally parked the bus and they didn't really offer anything in the attack. So the AI experience was terrible, but it was worth it for me to play in order to get these objectives so I can eventually sign this player. Now I'm still working on the objectives, and I think they go for maybe for another week or 2 weeks, and then I get the player. However, apparently this is only like the second time they've done this since the whole eFootball rebranding, or maybe it's just since the eFootball 2024 or whatever it was when they did the big overhaul. That's where I don't know for sure. Don't quote me on any of that, but I believe it is only their second time where they did the process of earning a player through objectives. They typically just release them in promos, like I was talking earlier with how I got Maldini, outside of just getting standard players and some lower rated players along the way. But I'm talking these top, like, epics or whatever level they are considered, whatever the name is, right? So in order for me to like dive into the game and then learn all this stuff, I need motivation to play, and signing these awesome players is the motivation. If they continue this process, right, along with, I know they want to still make their money, and a lot of players are willing to put money in, especially more serious players, and maybe I could become one of those where I put a little bit of money aside and then save it up to get like 1, 2, 3 players a year or whatever it may come to. But in order to get there, you need to have, players interested in your game, and that's how you get them interested. Me personally, if you do these player picks all the time, I will be playing the game all the time. That's how you can grow your player base and become more than just a second place football game, which you're pretty much cemented in, right? eFootball has never been even close to passing, FC or FIFA. And I'm talking just eFootball. I'm not talking the prior Konami PES days. Just the eFootball rebranding is never, at least for now, even going to be in the consideration to pass FC. However, if they start leaning more towards these type of situations where they offer these objectives and at the end of it you get these awesome players, that is a way to gain interest, into your game and then get players to chase these objectives, which means playing more, right? And then talking more about the game, getting their friends involved. I have a ton, I'm a small YouTube creator, as you guys know, and I cover eFootball sometimes, not a ton, but if you have all these awesome player picks showing up, eventually some of these players that play UFL or play FC are going to go, oh, man, because these cards, they do a great job on the design of the cards. It's totally unique. It doesn't look anything like FC. And then, football fans, football gaming fans are going to eventually just go, man, what's this about? And it's a free to download game. And now they're going to try the game as opposed to just highlights from eFootball League, more highlights from eFootball League, highlights from this event, more highlights from eFootball League. Hey, I got Maldini, I paid $70. Hey, I got Mbappe, I paid $80. Hey, you get what I'm saying? Like, this offers an alternative where they can download the game, right? And they can take part in these different, challenges to earn these awesome players. That is a cool thing. Not to mention you give a good variety, so it's not just one player or two players where someone's like, I'm cool there. I already got, a striker. I don't need Kolomuani's. I don't care if he has phenomenal finishing. Or I don't need an edge crosser with Gnabry. I got Beckham over there. Like, you have all these different options. And then if you keep doing things like that, as well as with icons and different players, like it could be an all goalie pick where you have like Khan, Barthez, whoever, and now it becomes a thing where it's like, man, I love more than one of these. Who am I going to pick? Khan can throw the dang ball to half field. Barthez has this incredible far-reaching skill set. Another one has this incredible speed. He can chase down and cover up the ball before strikers, finish breakaways. Like, each one has this special boost, and then and I'm sure I know all these exist because that's how detailed, Konami is with eFootball. Goalkeepers have different attributes. I don't know exactly what they're called. As you can tell, I'm kind of a rookie with this. But you get what I'm saying. You can do 5 different strikers with different things. Or you can do like you're doing now with just a variety of players in a variety of positions, right? Maybe it's an all Brazilian national team one and you have to pick. Like, that's a very cool thing because it makes it unique where each player, while they're doing these objectives, has a conversation going about who they're going to pick. Much of what I looked into right now is very cool, like the details of these different players, and there's all these awesome breakdowns of the special skill set they get, how it helps them or fits that player, and then areas where, maybe in one player would be more powerful than another depending on how you play. Like, there's just so many things into it, and the only reason that I started diving into this and that made me make this video is that the spark, so to speak, was this Showtime objective player pick, right? The fact that at the end of this I get to pick a player. Otherwise, I may have just played a few games, may not have even done a video, may have just jumped on live and played the game because it is a fun game. It is unique. It just needs more motivation to play, right? It needs to give its players more motivation to play, I should say. So I think I got my point across. I know I'm kind of ranting, but I was super excited because I want all of these games to be just unreal. That will push the developers to give us their best at everything they do because they don't want to lose players to their competitor, right? It's only a plus for football gaming fans to have more than one great game. And eFootball, I think the one thing, turning players away is one, the players who don't want to learn a whole new game that have been playing FIFA their whole life, right? Because it is a totally unique thing that you have to learn. You can't come in, no matter how good you are at FC, and just be good at eFootball. And so these types of things, these player picks, are a great way to get players interested, to want to learn all these details and to want to figure the game out and jump on board and start building a squad in eFootball. So if you are one of those players that hasn't given eFootball a chance like I used to not, right? I turned it on a few times and then that was the end of it. Give it an actual chance. Learn the different controls. Not, oh, I switched it to FC, I'm fine, I learned all the controls. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about learn the actual nuances and how to actually play. If you want an idea of how different it is, look at the elite tips I gave. Not plugging my own videos in that sense, like I am plugging my own videos, but I'm saying these things help me understand the differences in this game compared to FC, right? Learn those types of things. And once you do, you'll figure it out. I immediately jumped from like Division 6 struggling to Division 3, which is essentially like Elite Division. Because once you get to Division 3, 3 to Division 1 is literally all the best players. All the way up to number 1 in the world. That's who you could play that player. And basically based on your rating, that's how you go Division 2, Division 1. It's not an actual promotion after that. You just either win or you lose and you get a higher or lower, like ELO rating, it's, I guess you could call it. And then that's what it is. So now I'm in literally the highest level you could be in, where I could literally match up anybody from the number 1 player to the lowest player in Division 3, which is awesome, especially because at the beginning I was clueless. I was so lost on how this game worked. It's a totally unique feel. And now I absolutely have a ton of fun. Do I love everything about the game? No. Right? But do I love everything about FC 25? No. Is it a great game? Yes. Are there things they could fix? Yes. I'm talking about FC 25. And it's the same with eFootball. Are there some great things? Yes. Are there some things that I hate and wish they could fix or remove? Or that? Yes, absolutely. However, it is definitely worth your time, at least to give it a try. Maybe it's not for you, but don't do what I did and ignore a potentially great game that fits what you want out of a football game. You could have been missing out this whole time and you just never gave it a true shot because it didn't appeal to you maybe visually, or when you played it one time it didn't feel like FC, right? Which could be a great thing if you truly give it a try, because you don't want just a boring old copy of something you're already doing. So that's a unique aspect. I strongly urge you to give it a try if you haven't. If you have tried it and you don't like it, leave in the comments why. If you haven't tried it and plan to, once you do, let me know what you think. And of course, as always, if you need any help, I am here for you. I'm brand new to the game too, so I'll be right along with you on the journey. And with all that being said, remember to keep grinding, keep having fun, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.